Fenerbahce need a rebuild. It hasn't been since the 2013-14 season since they last won the Turkish Super League. In steps Jose Mourinho to get Fenerbahce their first league title back in this football manager rebuild. Ignore the model, by the way. That is the best I could do. It is absolutely awful trying to create managers inside Football Manager. We have Jose set up with his Continental Pro license and as a regional footballer, because I think that was around about where he was. He's a motivator. Let's go. Let's get Fenerbahce back to being league champions. So Fenerbahce hire Jose Mourinho. They are replacing previous manager, that guy, and we have the season to win the league, get us back to where we belong, back to league champions, and we're going to do it in one video. So here we are. So our goal for the season, and the board also think we should be doing it, is winning the Super League. We need to get them back winning the league. Like I say, it's been since the 2013-14 season since the last time Fenerbahce have won the league. On the season preview, we are expected to finish top, so realistically it should be an easy rebuild. As for the squad and as for the tactic, we're going with a fluid counter-attack using the 4-2-3-1 formation that Mourinho is pretty much used to and known for. Here is the squad that we've got. The starting 11 is Livkovic in goal, a back four of Asai, Samuel, Soyuncu, Bakau and Kadioglu, a midfield two of Fred and Kruncic, an attacking midfield three of Cengiz Under, Szymanski and Dusan Tadic, and then Batshuayi up top. A lot of recognisable names in there. We've got our bench filled with absolute legends of the game like Edin Dzeko and Josh King, apparently. Ryan Kent, another one, is in there, and a retiring Bonucci. Absolute madness that he's here. That is the side. We do have a couple of deadwood players that we need to move on, but other than that, finances at the club are pretty good. 33 mil in the bank, not really anything to work with in terms of transfer budget and wage budget, so it will be very much a case of using what we've got. This is the squad. We've got our objective. Let's get Fenerbahce the league title. With limited funds available, we have tried to bring old boy Pepe back, but he was having absolutely none of it. So even though we are a bit hamstrung by our budget, we have managed to do a little bit of business. Zeki Celik comes in from former Mourinho club AS Roma for a fee that's going to total 2.5 million. It's not 2.5 million up front, but it is 2.5 million overall, including installments. He's going to join us on 30 grand a week, which, looking at some of the wages that's in the squad, is really not too bad. There are some players earning way too much money here at Fenerbahce. But Zeki Celik comes in, and he is our first signing of this Mourinho Fenerbahce rebuild. So for our first game in the dugout was Mourinho. We were at home to Alanyaspor, I think it was, and we had to get off to a good start because we are expected to be a league leader, and off to a good start we did get with a 3-0 win. Goals coming from Dusan Tadic, then Bonucci of all people putting a penalty away before we had our final goal that came in, an in-swinger from the corner, and Edin Dzeko at 37 years of age gets up and knocks in the header. We'd made a good start, but then we came up against our first real test of the season so far as we were away to Besiktas, but we absolutely leathered them 4-0, and we can see that lots of the goals coming from those similar players. Cengiz Under on the right hand side knocks it in, and Krunic, who's currently on loan, but he is joining on a permanent from AC Milan, scores the second. It wasn't then until the second half that we got our third goal as new signing Zeki Celik whips it in for Dusan Tadic, who knocks it in. It's a poor clearance, and then Edin Dzeko, once again using his height, using his experience, towers over the goalkeeper, our number 9, and scores the third. The fourth came from a similar area. It was knocked in from Kruncic. He knocks it into Fred, who does a first time pass. Cengiz Under then takes it and smashes it into the roof of the net, and it was 4-0 Fenerbahce, and we were looking really good. That all means 5 games in, we are nicely sitting top of the league. 5 wins from 5. Edin Dzeko, top goal scorer in the division. I had a little bit of a change of heart with the formation. We've decided to go with a pressing style. We're positive. We are expected to win the league. We want to win the league. We don't want to be sitting on the counter. That just seems ridiculous for a team that's going to go and try and win the league. We think we're better than everyone else, and so far we're proving it. We've been absolutely terrific, winning every game so far. We've also qualified for the Europa Conference League, which it isn't something that is necessarily a goal of this season, of this save, of this rebuild. It would be a nice little side mission. Obviously, Mourinho did win the Conference League with Roma previously, so if he could win it again this time with Fenerbahce, that would be just an added bonus onto this rebuild. But our aim for this rebuild is to win the Super League, and so far we're looking really good for it. The transfer window has slammed shut and we haven't been able to do any further business, but we have moved on a number of deadwood players. Joshua King probably being the most noticeable of the lot, but most of them have gone out on small deals. There's a lot of young players in here, a couple who we've loaned out with an option to buy, and we just needed to free up some space in the squad. It was a little bit bloated. So 5 more games in, and it does look like this. We have managed to keep up our really good form. So we've won 4 of our last 5 in the league. We have actually drawn our first game in the league, but we do remain unbeaten, and this all means we are still top of the Turkish Super League. Galatasaray are really going to be pushing us this year. They've only had 1 loss in 10, and we've won 9 games, same as them. Trabzonspor aren't too far behind them, but they have drawn 1 and lost 1, so they have dropped points a little bit more than the rest of us. Besiktas look like they're going to be nowhere near the rest of us, and I don't think no one else really in this league posing much of a threat, so it is really going to be tight between us and Galatasaray. We haven't played them yet, but we've just been really good. Some massive performances. Again, these are all teams we should be beating, so it's quite good that we are just kind of carrying along with it. Conference League, we've won 2 from 2. I think given our group, we'll probably win every game, and we should be doing that. Haven't played any of the cup games yet. Why is the Super Cup in December? That makes no sense. A Super Cup's basically a pre-season friendly. It should always be before the season. Why is it in December in Turkey? Does anyone know? Let me know if you know, but I just don't know. I just don't get that. Why would you have it in December? But 10 games in, we're looking really good. We've dropped points once, and even then it was a draw. So I think we're doing really well. But we just need to keep it going, because the way Galatasaray are going, and Trabzonspor not too far behind as well. If we do drop points, it's going to be really costly. So we have continued our really good run of form, and we do come into our first important and live game of the rebuild away to Galatasaray. Before that, we had a double win over Rakov in the Europa Conference League, and then a 2-0 win over Trabzonspor, which gave us a little bit of a gap over them, and then a massive 6-2 win over Gaziantep, not sure on that, 6-2 win over them. The league table looks like this going into the game, so we're just 1 point separated from Galatasaray. We are 3 points ahead of Trabzonspor, but with a game in hand, so a win here would put us 4 points ahead of Galatasaray, giving them their second loss of the season, keeping us unbeaten, and a win would also put us 6 points clear of Trabzonspor. I think on my feet there with the maths. So massive game, very massive game. The team that we're going for, that's been the team for a lot of the rebuild. Really, this is our starting 11 that we've kind of settled on. Livkovic in goal, back 4 of Celik, Besau, Soyuncu and Kadioglu. Midfield 2 of Krunic and Fred, and then an attacking 3 of Şengizunde, Szymanski and Tadic, and then Edin Dzeko up top, who is absolutely lethal this season. What a season he's having. He's got 27 and 17 across all comps, 16 and 12 in the league. I've never known a striker like it. I've honestly never known a striker like it. Let's see. Let's go into this game and hopefully let's get a win, because realistically, this would be massive. We would have a nice 4-point gap at the top of the table, and this could be really, really important for our title hopes. Obviously, our first game live of the episode, and we want to go into it and win it. I mean, Galatasaray have been really good. They've got some really good players for this level. Cardi, Aktoglu, Ziyech. I think they've got Wilfried Zaha as well, who isn't even starting, so maybe he's injured, hopefully. But we're both in great form. We're both playing really well. Let's speed this up. We don't want to be going that fast. Come on, let's go a little bit quicker. Let's go a little bit quicker. There we go. Soyuncu now into Besau. And that's the highlight done. Let's sort all this out. This is the first league game. We haven't done any of this. We haven't sorted any of it out. But we do have a attacking highlight here. And it is Galatasaray, but thankfully they have put it wide. Let's pause this. Let's sort all this out. We don't need all this. Come on, get the league table up. Get rid of the visualizer. We don't need that. Give us let's have our formation on the left. Galatasaray. Opponent on the right. There we go. That's the setup. Opponent on the right. Fenerbahçe in the middle. Your team in the middle. And then the league table on the left. You don't need the visualizer. You've got this. Football. Sorted out, Football Manager. You don't need... That should not... This should be the default. I think this should be the default touchline tablet. It's such a terrible name. Touchline tablet. But there you go. So... it's been all... Yeah, it's been coming. It's been all Galatasaray. And Icardi puts them 1 goal up. That's not good. That is not good. Livkovic, really nothing could do there. He is absolutely lethal. We don't need to see the replay on that. It's pretty straightforward. And Galatasaray got 2 points clear. It wouldn't be the end of the world if we lost this, but it definitely would be a little bit disappointing because we've been so good. And realistically, a draw is probably okay here. It keeps us unbeaten. I think that's the main thing. If we can just stay unbeaten as long as possible, that really is the main thing. But yeah, a little bit disappointing. We haven't really seen anything from us so far, but it is still early, and hopefully we can get back in it. We've got a lot of attacking quality. Zeki Celik and Kadiolu on the wings are very good as well. That wasn't really the best bit of delivery there we've seen, because he kind of just leathered it in. But Galatasaray are a great team, and we are predicted to finish top. They're predicted to finish second, so it is very much a top of the table clash. And it might come down to these games really, because every other team, both teams should be beating every other team. But there you go, Cengiz Under looking for something. He's not really done much there, has he? He's kind of just lost the ball, which is a bit disappointing. It looks like we are going to get caught on the counter here as Cone running through. We really need to make a tackle, and it's Cengiz Under who's kind of tracking with him. We're not really doing anything. Thankfully, they've wasted their opportunity, and it's not great from us. Let's have a go at them. Let's berate them. Terrible 20 minutes, lads. Absolutely. It is really, to be fair, it is a terrible 20 minutes. We've not done anything. We've done absolutely nothing. 0 shots in 25 minutes. That's poor. Any kind of game, even if you're really up against it. But Aktakoglu there running through. If they want to keep wasting chances like that, that's fine. But we need to do something. We've scored so many. Just can't do it live. We just cannot do it live. We're an off-camera team. It also... Oh, it's 2! I don't even know. I don't even want to say it. Don't even want to try and pronounce it. It's such a long name. But it's 2-0, and it's just the same sort of thing. It's just, it's just too quick for us. It's just one-touch passing. I don't know what Kronic is doing there, but it's a first-time effort right in the corner, and there's nothing he can do about it. There's nothing Livkovic can do about it. He's got a poor rating, but both the goals, there's nothing he can do. So at this point, a draw is probably the best we can hope for, but we're not doing anything. All these players, and Jekyll scored so many, but live, we're crap. We're not doing anything. We can't do anything. There you go. But anyway, Kronic now plays it through, and Cengiz Under just losing the ball again. Not been good at all. So we will need to bring this back. I thought Celik was going to really hit it there, but he's just tapped it. He just tapped it towards the goalkeeper. So I don't know what we're doing. I think we've just been really poor. Tadic is just going to shoot, and Szymanski gets on the rebound, and thankfully we do go into the half with a goal back, and it's a lovely bit of play there. Obviously Tadic gets... I think it's actually hit... I thought it hit the post, but I think it's actually Muslera saved it. Szymanski picks it up. Can we do something? Cengiz Under. Oh, Cengiz Under has been terrible all game. But there he does. And he makes up for it with an absolute wonder goal. It's ended 2-2. What a game. But it's ended 2-2. So I guess we kind of just keep going as we are. We're level. I think overall we probably should have won it. I know we went 2 goals down. But we had a lot of chances there. We had a lot of chances. And I think we should have done... We should have went and grabbed the winner, but at least we didn't lose. The unbeaten run continues, and hopefully they'll start to drop points in other games. But it's another draw for us, but we're doing really well. The good news is we're still top of the table, so we'll keep playing. We'll play through some more games, and we'll hopefully Galatasaray will start to drop some points. So elsewhere, we have topped our Europa Conference League group with 5 wins and just the 1 loss to Servette away, which was just a 1-0 loss anyway. So pretty good. We have finished top, which means we'll be going into the next round as league leaders. Servette also the other team that qualified, them getting 4 wins out of 6. 4 wins in the kind of group stages of any of the European competitions is usually enough to go through, and then an extra win on top of that, or even a draw, generally puts you top. So we're going into the next round. around. Other than that, we've also had a couple of league wins, which has allowed us to take a little bit of a gap on Galatasaray, because they did actually drop points to Sivasspor. So we now have that 3-point gap that we really need. We've got a 4-point gap over Trabzonspor, so we need to keep that up, and we haven't really got any massive games coming up. So I think we can have a really good run, probably up until around here when we have to play Trabzonspor and Galatasaray pretty close near the end of the season. So that might be the next live game. I don't think there's any big games coming up. We won't do the Turkish Super Cup because it's not really too important. And we're really not focused on the Conference League. This rebuild is really about winning the league, because it hasn't been done for Fener in so long for a club like that. It's been very much Galatasaray that's been winning the most shares. So that's our focus. We're still unbeaten 15 games in, and we're in a really strong position. So we'll keep going. We'll go into January, maybe do some transfers. I don't know. So we're not going to do it live, but we will watch the highlights of our Super Cup game against Galatasaray. So there was only a 1 goal in it. It was Szymanski scored there, and as you can see, it was quite a tame effort. So we did win, and Mourinho's got his first piece of silverware with Fenerbahce, the Turkish Super Cup. Not a massive one, but it's nice to get the first one under the belt and in the trophy cabinet. So we are now past January, and our good run has not stopped at all. As you can see, it is absolutely just a sea of green. So after we won the Turkish Super Cup, we've won another winning run. And honestly, the clean sheets are mad. A 1-0 over Besiktas, a 2-0 over Adana Demirspor. Some more wins there. We progressed in the Turkish Cup as well. And we've also done a lot of business. As you can see, our finances are wiped. We still have a little bit left in the transfer budget, and we do have a sell-on clause with Ali Gula if we were really hurting for some money. But we'll take a look at what we've done. So in terms of the exits, so we have sold Bright Osei Samuel, has went to Burnley for 5.5 million. He was just a backup right back for us. With that happening, Mert Mulder has come back into the side. He was originally someone I was trying to move out, but he's Turkish, he can play right back, and he's a decent backup, so he's been kept and pretty much promoted to second choice right back. Mert Hakan Yandis wasn't really getting any games. His contract was out at the end of the year, and Konyaspor came in for him, so he went to the other Super League team, and he's doing quite well, 2 assists in 3 games, so he left on a free transfer. Ismail Yushik, who is someone who has again been a bit of a backup player for us, got a £9 million bid from Real San Sebastian, so Real Sociedad, so he's went there for £9 million, and I think again that's a good bit of business. It does mean we're losing a couple of the homegrown in nation players, but I think we're okay. A youngster went to Antalyaspor for 150k, and we sold Michi Batshuayi to Zenit for 125k. This was a big one because he was on about 60 something grand a week, so just getting any kind of money for him and getting him off the wage bill was key. So he's left there. With Batshuayi going, we were a little bit light, so we did recall Josh King back from his loan. He hasn't really done anything at Feyenoord. He's not really done anything since he's come back either, to be totally honest with you, but we needed to bring someone back. And with selling Yandis and Yushek, we were a little bit light at one point with DMs, so we've brought Mia Jacques back. However, we have replaced him with an incoming transfer, which we'll talk about. So we are currently trying to sell him. He has got a 975k bid from Krasnodar, which was where he went on loan and didn't really do too well. So, but apparently they still want to bring him back in. Other than that, we are trying to move Ryan Kent on. He hasn't really had any offers though, so we'll just keep him, I guess, if nothing comes in. In terms of incomings, we've made 3 pretty good signings. So the first one is Martin Baturina, a Croatian 20-year-old. He joined us for just £11 million. He's had an instant impact, a goal and an assist in his first 4 games. He's very much in the Szymanski role, playing up. We might even play him further back as a deep line playmaker, but I think he's best in this role. He's had a good start. He is a genuine wonder kid as well, so to get him for that money, I think it's a great deal. So he joined us from Dynamo in Croatia. We then signed Anan Kalali, the young 19-year-old Israeli winger. He joined us on a really cheap deal, £3.4 million. He's done really well in his season at Maccabi Haifa. He's got 10 goals. He had 10 goals and 5 assists, so pretty much a goal or an assist every single game. So we signed him for £3.4 million, and he joins on a 4-year deal on only just under 20 grand a week. So really good deal there, really cheap. He's good. He's already got a bit of potential as well. So he is a really good young cheap signing. And the last one we made was Eric Martel, another one. As you can see, there is a profile to these. They are all under 23. They're all young. 21 and under. Eric Martel joins us from FC Cologne for £9.5 million. He's doing okay in the Bundesliga, but he is someone with a lot of potential. Not shown as a wonder kid or anything, but he is very much one for the future. And, well, he upgrades us now, and he's still good for the future. So, the 21-year-old German, already a leading Super League player, and he can improve significantly, just what you want to see. He joins us again on a 4-year deal on 27 grand a week. So we have spent a bit of money. Of course, we have spent a bit of money. 72 million in transfers in, 39.5 million in transfers out. But a lot of that money was before I was here. The only big one I guess we did do 2 big ones there. But a lot of the transfers were kind of before my time, I guess. There is some installments as well on Batterina as well, so he will obviously have a few of those that'll probably kick in, but that's just the way it is. But I'm happy with the business. Obviously, we sold a few, we've brought a few in. We have spent pretty much everything that's there. This will very much go in the red before the season's done, but we're doing really well. And I think Martel probably comes in for Krunic when he's fit, so he probably comes in there. Krunic drops to the bench. Probably Chevy comes out. Actually, you know what? Probably Ryan Kent comes out because he's the one we're trying to move on. And that's probably it. I mean, that's looking really strong. Zeki Celik, by the way, on a £3 million signing has been a really good signing. An average rating of 7.8 is crazy. I think this squad's really strong. And honestly, the striker looks like the worst position, but he's got 39 goals. Edin Dzeko, I've never had a striker score this many. Genuinely, 39 and 30. I mean, this is madness. Only at lower levels of the game, never this high. So I think we look really good. And there's a couple of positions, maybe Fred, maybe Batterina comes in for Fred, and then Szymanski comes in. That's not a bad shout, because Fred is getting a little bit on there. And Szymanski's still young, 24-year-old, big value. I think that's a move. Fred comes out. Good player. Do we put Fred? I can't believe he's that quick. Fred is not that quick. There is no way Fred's that quick. Something to think about. Maybe we'll do it. But obviously there's a couple of older players here, but that isn't anything for us to worry about too much. The other deals we've done, if we hide inactive, we have brought a couple of players in on free transfers who will join us next season. So if we do a second season of this rebuild, then we'll get to see these players. Leandro Barreiro joined us on a pre-contract, so he'll join us at the end of his contract with his season at Mainz 05. He's a ball-winning midfielder as well, so he'd very much be someone who'd be rotating with Eric Martel for that role. And then this one was kind of just for fun, but we would need a second striker, and 37, maybe even be 38 by the time we got him. 37-year-old, no, he's 11th of January, so he would be 37 still. 37-year-old Jamie Vardy. I mean, the physical's still looking good, 15 acceleration, 13 pace, still works hard, still a gunman, a gunman with 15, 16 pens. He's not really done a lot of games in the Championship, but he's got a goal and assist in 3, so he's clearly not doing too bad. So he joins us on I think it was only like a 30 grand a week wage. No, that's what he's on now. This always does this. It shows you what they're on now rather than what they're joining on. I think it was like 30 grand or something. So he joins us at the end of his deal with Leicester as well. So Jamie Vardy coming in to partner up with Mourinho at Fenerbahce. What kind of weird dimension have we entered? But we're doing really well, and we'll just keep going because I don't think there's anything too interesting. I think we'll probably play the Galatasaray game, but they've actually been dropping points as well, so we are very much looking like league leaders. We're still unbeaten, and as much as I do want to win the league, I think at this point we have to really want to win it unbeaten. I think if we could do an invincible in this rebuild, that would be really special. So we have continued on, and we have continued to be really, really good. All that means that the Super League is looking like this. We are now pretty well clear of Galatasaray in second. We have got a live game with them at home. Obviously, in the last game that we played on camera, it was a 2-2 draw in the league, but then we did beat them 1-0 in the Super Cup. So could we get the win here? That would mean, what do we got now? A 9-point gap at the minute. That would create a 12-point gap at the top, and with not many games going, I think that pretty much wraps up the league. So we really need to do that. But as I say, we have been really good in the league again. I mean, look at these results: 3-0, 3-1, 3-1, 3-0, 2-0. We did get knocked out in the Turkish Cup quarter-final to Samsunspor, which was quite surprising. It was 4-3 after extra time. That was disappointing, but I mean, we played a really strong 11 as well. This is our starting 11, so it is really disappointing that we got knocked out there, but not going to be the Turkish Cup this year. But the rebuild aim was, at least for this video, to win the Super League. We then continued on well in the Super League, getting wins there. We did actually, unfortunately, lose our unbeaten status with a 3-1 away loss to Rizespor. I don't know, Rizespor. full of Riz, I don't know, Rizespor, I don't know, but they are obviously in the top 5 at the minute, so they are pushing for Europe. But that was still disappointing because, again, I mean, there was a couple changes, but really it was our first team, so that was disappointing. We did also lose to Genk away in the Europa Conference League round of 16 as well. Obviously finishing top of the group, we bypassed that round of 32, but we did absolutely smash them at home, 6-1 in the home leg. So that means we are through the quarters of the Conference League to Sturm Graz. I think that's a team we should be beating. Honestly, looking at the teams left, I think we can beat all of these. Obviously, maybe Frankfurt, Freiburg, Twente, those are kind of the teams you're looking at, maybe even Toulouse. I mean, Sparta Prague, Panathinaikos and Sturm Graz. I mean, even Twente, I think we should be beating most of these. A couple of the bigger, German and French teams maybe could beat us, but honestly, on our day, I think we could beat any of these, because none of those are like massive teams in their countries. I mean, Frankfurt, that's like a Europa League team, isn't it? Maybe Champions League in a blue moon. Freiburg, I didn't even know they qualified for Europe. Toulouse, again, you're talking lower European side, so I think we can beat any of them. But we've got a massive home game now against Galatasaray. If we can win this, we go 12 points clear, and the league pretty much wraps up, and we'll probably just bring it back for either the Europa Conference final or just kind of an end of season, end of rebuild wrap up. If we can't beat them, that would close it to a 6-point gap, which, with only 6 games remaining, probably doesn't mean too much anyway, because I doubt we'd drop. I doubt we would lose 2 out of those 6 anyway. But you never know. You never know. We could have an end of season drop off. So we really need to get a win here, create that gap, and then realistically, we've only got 2 more games to win, and then it's wrapped up. So this is the 11 that we're going for our home fixture in the Turkish Super League against Galatasaray. A chance to pretty much seal our league win and complete this rebuild, or at least this episode of the rebuild. In goal, Livkovic. Back 4 of Zeki Celik, who's been an unbelievable signing at only 2.3 million pounds. Oh, £3 million in total, I guess, with some add-ons. Still a great signing. Sionchu, whose loans finishes at the end of the year, actually. Bissau Kadiolu, who just recently signed on a new deal. Well, he was kicking off that he wanted a new deal. He'll be getting a new deal soon. A midfield 2 of Martel and Fred, and then in front of them we've got Cengiz Under, Baturina and Dusan Tadic, and then Dzeko up top. All that means is that Szymanski and Kalali, who's just come in, by the way, is absolutely ripping it up. 6 goals and 6. He looks like a real signing. Again, another cheap deal, just £3.4 million. So we have made some really good signings in this rebuild. Szymanski, a little bit unfortunate, obviously he's got 12 goals this year. A really good player as well, and he's dropped out. I'm not sure why all the players are going downhill at this point. Maybe they're just a bit tired, I don't know. But yeah, let's go. Let's go do it. Let's go win. Well, essentially wrap up the Super League title. It wouldn't be wrapped up technically, but we would be very close to doing it. Just as an aside, I did notice when I was recording the away fixture with Galatasaray, it was a little bit choppy, so I've messed with the OBS settings. So it's been really warm in the UK, it's been really warm in England, so computers overheating have been an issue. I can imagine for everyone, and that has meant that sometimes the game, whilst on my screen it plays really well, it does record a little bit choppy, so I'm going to keep an eye on it in the OBS settings. But I have upped the settings to give more priority OBS, so hopefully that kind of fixes that issue. I think with playing in Turkey as well, the flares and stuff kind of mess with everything as well, and definitely make it look a little bit choppy. I can already see it's slightly choppier than what I see on my screen, but it's not too bad at all. It's definitely much better than it was the last game, where it was basically just freezing, which is really not what you want to see. But yeah, still 0-0. I mean, we've looked the better side so far. We've had a couple of chances, and maybe we can get a goal here as Tadic has it down the left-hand side. He's been an absolute handful. I mean, we've got an old squad here. It's not a young squad by any means, as Tadic tries an effort there. It's not a young squad by any means. You've got like Fred, who's like 30, Tadic, who's like, what, 34 or something like that. Dzeko's like 38 now. Yeah, we've obviously tried to fill it out with some younger players. We brought Baturina in. I mean, Zeki Celik's kind of in his prime, so that's not a bad one. Livkovic, he's like 28. So, you know, it's not a side that would be... It's probably due another rebuild in a couple of years. I mean, even next season, this would be another... If we were continuing the save, this would be another team that needs to rebuild, because you can't rely on someone like Dzeko for too much longer, Tadic too much longer, Fred for too much longer. So you very much need to get some young blood in the team. And we have done that already with bringing the likes of Martel in and Baturina. So I think next steps would probably be a striker. I think actually we've already got Kalali, who can take that Tadic role. Maybe even Szymanski as well. He can play out wide. So I don't think, if you did want to try and copy this save or this rebuild for your own, or you're doing your own Fenerbahce save, I don't think you'd need to do too much in the first season from what we've seen so far. I mean, the squad is good. And I think if you're trying to do a rebuild, you'd very much be looking at something like a second season syndrome, where because a couple of your better players... I thought Fred was going to score there. A couple of your better players might be getting a little bit further older, and a couple might even retire. One thing I have noticed as well is the stadiums in Turkey, or at least our stadium, definitely causes a bit of like weird graphical stuff. It's a good job we've been done this as a rebuild rather than a full series, because it is a little bit weird, the graphics on it, the way they kind of just jitter about. But nevertheless, it is still 0-0 here, and we have looked a better side, though, much better than we did in the other fixture, where we very much got battered by Galatasaray in the away fixture. But we are at home now, so that maybe is playing a part of it. But I would say we're doing okay. A draw, I guess, 9 points clear, probably still is pretty favourable. I think if you offered it now, I would say, yeah, go on then. But I think, you know, we've only lost one game all season, which is crazy in of itself. I'm going to be really annoyed if that's the only game we lost and we couldn't get an unbeaten season in the rebuild. I think all this proves the fact that we're doing so well. Does Fenerbahce really need a rebuild in real life? I mean, the signings look pretty good. And obviously, some of these might be playing better in game than they would in real life. But I don't think there's a massive upheaval needed. Just bring Zeki Celik in like I did, and all your problems solved. All your problems are solved. But Livkovic there with another great save, and he is unbelievable in this game, by the way. I think he's got 20 for one-on-ones. I've never seen that. I've never seen a goalkeeper with 20. Like I've seen it, sorry, but I've never played with a goalkeeper that's had 20. Because obviously most of my saves this year, and I imagine most people's saves. Oh, what have you done? I was just going to start talking about the lower league management, but Cengiz Under just absolutely lost his head. What an idiot. Absolute fool. He just lost his head. Went flying in. Oh, you're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. That might have cost us the game. And maybe bring it down to a 6-point gap if they go and win this. We've just put Baturina out wide. I'll definitely take a draw now. Look at this. Sort this out, FM. This is terrible. I feel like when it's like weird stadiums or with like flares or something, it just can't handle it. And it just goes really weird. It just goes really weird. But there you go. I don't know what to say. But yeah, I mean, a draw now is probably okay because we're kind of stuck. We've been down to 10 men. We are a little bit screwed, but we do need to try and hold on. But it does look like Serge Aurier picks up the ball. Another good save from Livkovic. He could be big this second half. He could be massive this second half and getting us over the line. I think it's the flares, you know. I think the flares really mess up the graphics card or whatever it is that causes these graphical errors and the game to run a bit weird. I think it's the flares. I don't know. I'm not working with a supercomputer here. I'm working very much with a laptop, so you just take what you get, I guess. I mean, that would be definitely one thing I'd love to upgrade going forward. It might even be something I do for FM25 if I find the cashola. Upgrade into a PC, like a proper PC that can play and record and it doesn't really chug. That would be the dream. That would be the dream, but I don't want to put too much money into something when I'm not seeing anything back at the minute, because this is all unmonetized. So anytime you see an ad, feel free to skip it. It's not mine. It is very much just going into YouTube's back pocket, so don't even worry about it. We are on the on the road to monetization, but it does take like 4,000 watch hours at the minute, and I think at the minute I'm at about 50. So I'm a bit of a ways away, but I'm hoping by the time we get to FM25 we're getting a lot closer to that number, and then maybe FM25, obviously with it being a new game, lots of interest, a lot of probably more views and stuff like that, and more people watching FM content, because this is kind of the dead period for Football Manager. I know I'm not really talking about the game here and this is a rebuild, but this is very much a dead period for Football Manager, so it might not be the worst idea. I mean, it's not the best idea to kickstart a Football Manager YouTube channel at the back end of a Football Manager, but what it is allowing me to do is Dzeko gets up there, Edin Dzeko for his 50th goal of the season. Even down to 10 men, we are good. Edin Dzeko just rising like a salmon out of water, as you'd expect. Cardiolu picks it up on the left-hand side. He's been doing this all season, him and Celik. Floats one in. Big man Dzeko gets there. Muslera, nothing he can do. Top corner. 1-0 Fenerbahce, and that does create a 12-point gap, which would pretty much wrap up the league title. I'm not making any changes. I would say this is my number one tip for Football Manager. If you are... Why was I saying tips? Why was I trying to give tips? Like I'm an expert. Galatasaray have equalised. It's 1-1. We're back down. The 12-point gap's back down to 9, which is still good. Like I say, I'll take a draw. A free kick as well. And Livkovic has got 20 for one-on-ones. I mean, I guess it's not a one-on-one, but I think he should be saving that. And now these have got the tails up, and they'll be trying to come and grab a winner. And now our 12-point gap is all of a sudden looking like it's going to be a 6-point gap. It's offside. Oh, it's offside. Thank God. Is it not? Oh, there's VAR in this league. I didn't even know this. It is offside. Oh, good. It is offside. Icardi was offside. Let's see on the replay. I didn't know you got replays. Yeah, he's way off. Zaha was way off there. So it wasn't even the pass to Icardi that was off. It was the pass to Zaha. Thank God, but we are... now we've got an injury. It's just nothing's going right. Let's bring Kalali on. He's been a goal a game, so if he can keep that up, he'd get us another goal and we could go back to a 12-point gap. That would be special. But I'm not making any changes. That was going to be my number one tip. If you're winning or you're trying to hold on to a win and you're like, I need to shift things around, I need to drop mentality, I need to drop tactics, I need to drop players, I need to change their roles. Oh, I thought we were going to score a winner. Any of this, I need to fiddle. I need to take my centre-backs off. No, do not fiddle. Just don't touch it. Literally, just let it play out, because 9 times out of 10, if you fiddle, you'll lose. Now, I could lose here, and then this point becomes dumb. I would say there is some fiddling that's allowed. I think changing attackers and stuff like that is fine. Midfielders is fine. Go on, Dzeko. Zecchi plays it to Martel. Oh, I thought that was going to be a winner. Well, maybe it's a counter. Here come Galatasaray. Icardi played in. He must have been offside. He was offside. I was going to say he's put it wide anyway, but he must have been offside there. 6 minutes of added time, and we've got a corner. Can Dzeko do it again? Aim for Dzeko. Cardiolu, aim for Dzeko. It's Dzeko. Oh, it's hit the bar. Oh, I thought Dzeko was going to wrap up the league for us there. He was going to essentially wrap up the league. I mean, it's a 9-point gap. I still think it's pretty much ours. But that, oh no, it could be a 6-point gap. It's Galatasaray. Oh, thank God. I thought he was going to knock it back in. It's just gone straight out for a goal kick. That's it. Full time. 1-1. Down to 10 men. I'm happy with that. We'll take the point. We've still got a 9-point gap with about 6 games to go, was it? Is that what it was? I think. 6 games. Let's have a look. Yeah, 6 games. So we've got 6 games left. Really playing any of the big teams. I mean, 20th, 11th, 12th. I guess Samsunspor probably, who knocked us out of the cup, the only one we might lose. I think we should be winning that. So, yeah, we'll come back. I think, unless something happens, we'll come back for when this is wrapped up and we have won the league. So as you can see, we've got the confirmation. We've done it. We've won the Turkish Super League with a 5-0 win over Konyaspor. Since the Galatasaray game, we beat Sivasspor 2-0, Başakşehir 4-0 and Konyaspor 5-0 as well. With 3 games to go, we've wrapped up the Turkish Super League. We've done our objective. We have won Mourinho and Fenerbahçe their first league title in quite some time. Fenerbahce haven't won the Turkish Super League since the 13-14 season, which now means we've done it 10 years later in the 23-24 season. We've done it. We almost did it unbeaten as well, but unfortunately we did have one little loss there. Edin Dzeko this year has been unbelievable. The main man, 34 and 35 in the league. I mean, across the board, we've been good. Across the entire team, we've had lots of goals. 25 for Tadic, 56 for Dzeko in all comps is mad. 16 for Under, 25 for Tadic. Szymanski, 16. Kalali, 11. 12 for Bonucci. He takes penalties, so that's where that comes from. But 7 and 22 for Bonucci, and he's only a rotation centre-back. He takes a lot of penalties. And he does score from corners as well. But even across the back line, 3 for Kadiolu, 4 for Suyuncu, 3 for Basau, 7 for Celik. There is goals in the side. It's really only in midfield where we don't see too many goals. 3 for Fred, 2 for Krunic, and a couple of the other rotation players. Ryan Kent getting 5, for example. And a few players who probably left who've contributed as well. So, really good run. We had that 5-0 win. I was going to show the highlights, but it's 5 goals. I just don't think it's that important. So, we have done it. We've done the rebuild. Rebuild objective complete. But we are still in the Conference League. So even though it wasn't the objective of the rebuild, we're not just going to leave it at the semi-final. We're going to play through this. We're going to play our semi-final against Freiburg, and then a winner will set up either a final of our game against either Sparta Prague or Panathinaikos. So not the two teams that I thought would be making it, like Frankfurt and Toulouse. No, Sparta Prague and Panathinaikos will await us in the final if we can get past Freiburg. I was talking a little bit of smack to, so hopefully they haven't heard that. But we have done the double because we also won the Turkish Super Cup. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do a treble, because we did get knocked out in the Turkish Cup. So maybe we do a part 2. If people enjoy it, maybe we'll come back and do a part 2 and try and win the Turkish Cup. Maybe even see how we do in Champions League, something like that. But we've done the rebuild. I think that was the main objective of the rebuild, was to win the league, give Fenerbahce their first league in 10 years. We've done that. Objective complete. Let's see if we can go and win the Conference League and make it a treble this year. So we did manage to get past Freiburg in the semi-final, which has set up a Europa Conference League final. Turkey versus Greece, Fenerbahce versus Panathinaikos. This would be absolutely lethal in real life. But this is what our Conference League final is, and it's a chance for us to do kind of a treble. I mean, it's a league, a Super Cup, but then a European competition. This would be the cherry on the cake if we could do this for this rebuild. We've continued our good form. The only bad news is quite a lot of our first team are out. Jackie Celik's only just coming back from injury, so I'm not going to risk him. Our second choice keeper got injured as well. He's just come back. Our 2 starting wingers are injured. This is not ideal. Kalali will go out on the right. I just don't know what to do on the left. We play Ryan Kent. I'm going to play Szymanski out wide. I'm going to try that. We'll play Szymanski out wide. If it doesn't work, we'll swap it off. We'll bring Ryan Kent in. Probably have to be Ryan Kent. Maybe even Kaveshi. I don't know. But this is the team we're going with for our Conference League final. Livkovic in goal. A back 4 of Mert Mulder, who we were trying to sell at one point. Could he come in and be a hero? I mean, he's been good since he's come in. Since Bright Osei Samuel left. So could he come in and do the difference? A back 4 of him, Basau, Soyuncu, Kadiolu. Midfield 2 of Martel and Fred. Ahead of them is Kalali coming in. Baturina, Szymanski, and then Edin Dzeko, Mr. 58 goals himself. I mean, if he could get 2 and get up to 60, that would be some season from him at his really ripe old age. But this is a team I think we should beat. We should beat Panathinaikos, but it's a final. Anything can happen. Couple of names in here I'm recognising: Dragovski, Tinyedvai, Vitor Hugo, Magnuson, Bernard, if that's the one that used to play for Shakhtar. On the bench, I know Juricic. That's about it. A lot of outside of that, not sure on too many of the others, but there is some recognisable names in this squad, so it's definitely not a poor side. That's kind of why they got to the final. So massive game this. Can we go and do it? Let's go win the Conference League. Let's wrap up this rebuild with a massive win and get European competition. I don't know, have Fenerbahce ever won a European competition? I don't want to see this. I guess there's Sleep on latest scores, I guess. Don't want to see that. All right, so Kadiolu into Baturina. Oh, he whips it in. Kalali on the rebound. Can't put it in. Remains 0-0. And that was a really good chance to get an early lead here. That was a really good chance. I think we've got the better side. I do. But it's a final. Anything can happen. It's a one-off game. And they're obviously good because they've got to the final. And they are through here as Livkovic does well to tip over the effort. Not really too marshalled too well by our centre-backs though. But this would be really good. I mean, Mourinho, if he could win a second Conference League in his career as well. Let's not forget he won it with Roma. This would be a second Conference League for him and another trophy in his cabinet. He's won Europe many times. I don't know if Fenerbahce ever have won it. They probably have. I just don't know the history too well. But I mean, this would be incredible if we could do this. Let's have a look. Have Fenerbahce actually ever won a European competition? Okay, well, it's just... No, they haven't. So this would be the first... I don't think a Turkish team's ever won the Champions League, but I didn't know about Europa League. This would be the first European win for Fenerbahce at least. But unfortunately, Dzeko's effort there from the corner goes over the bar. Remains 0-0. I mean, this looks nervy. This looks tight. Just 30 minutes in and just one shot on target for either team. This is looking nervy. This is looking like we and them both don't really want to lose it. And I think that probably suits them a lot more than us because we should be going for it. But Bissau wins it. I thought he'd won it back, but he still managed to get the shot off. But thankfully, he's absolutely leathered it over. But it is a free kick here for Panathinaikos. Oh my God, Sionchu's just saved us. Sionchu's just pulled off a massive, massive save there. Goal line clearance. I thought it was going in. I thought it was going to travel across the little the goal line and go in, but Sionchu, absolutely hero status he's just achieved there by keeping it out. It remains 0-0. And we're getting into the end of the first half. I mean, it's not really been good, has it? I mean, we don't really look good. We're far from pleased. Do we make any changes? I mean, hasn't really worked with Szymanski. Kalali's not playing too well either. Dzeko's not playing too well. I think we stick with what it is and hope they just have a better second half. Let's go for it. Let's just hope we can get a better second half. This game would be an absolute nightmare to steward in real life. Mert Mulder whips it in. And it could just be a case of the fact we're just without two of our best goal scorers, Cengiz Ünder and Dusan Tadic. I mean, they've been key for us on the wing. I've probably never played this combination before with Szymanski out wide. But he's played it into Baturina. And Martin Baturina, one of the signings of the rebuild, is there, and he scores his 7th of the season, joined us in January. The young Croatians just put us 1-0 up and one step closer to a European competition win for the first time in their history. It's come from a very odd goal, but it was Szymanski with the assist, so he can do it out wide. We never questioned it. Great play, great wide player. Baturina puts it in, one of the signings of the rebuild. I mean, that's extra sweet that it's one of my signings, one of Mourinho's signings, should I say, that's actually done the business for us here. But Panathinaikos will want to respond, and Magnuson plays it to Arau, and his shot is saved by Livkovic. Remains 1-0, 30-ish minutes left to go. Can we hold on? Can we go and get a second? Get some breathing room. I mean, Dzeko, you need to get 2 more for your 60. For 60th of the season, which is a crazy thing to say. I really didn't expect him to be good when we loaded this up. I just thought, wow, slow he is, how old. I mean, he's not been very good this game, but over the season, what a player. Player of the season by an absolute mile. Nearly 60 goals is unheard of territory. I don't think I've ever had a striker get that many. It really, really just shows how good he is at his height. But Martel now plays it out wide to Mert Mulder. Can the Turkish lad do something? He whips it in. Oh, and Baturina almost got his brace. He put it wide. It wasn't the best finish. It was a good move from Mert Mulder, but not a good finish. And I think we need to take him off because he's getting really tired. Jackie Chelik can come on. He's just coming back from injury, but we know his quality. We know he's good. Jackie Chelik can come on to see out the last bit of the game. Bit of experience. That's the back line we've been playing all season. And it has been a very, very nervy, tight game. And there's only 5 minutes left. 4 minutes left. 3 minutes left. 2 minutes left. Come on. Don't give me much. Just 3 minutes at a time. I think we're going to do this. There's a late highlight. Please, please don't do this, Football Manager. Do not take us to extra time. Panathinaikos are playing it around the back. And they are keeping their calm, even though they're pretty much out of time. 30 seconds left, but they've played it out wide into a bit of space, and they will come forward with it now. They play it across, but we do well to intercept it, but it's straight back to Fenerbahce, to Panathinaikos, and they are just playing it back, looking for that opening. They're playing it forward now. They need to go. Kadiolu with a massive interception. We just smash it forward, but Panathinaikos have got possession back, and it's back out wide. They need to get the equaliser. They've whipped it in. Oh, what a block. What a block. I don't know who it was. It was either Soyuncu or Bissau. Corner for Panathinaikos. Oh my god, it's Dragovski, the goalkeeper. Oh, I thought he was going to shoot. I wouldn't have minded that. But it's full time. It's full time. If we were going to concede a goal in a European final in added time, I wouldn't have minded it being a goalkeeper scoring. I've never seen a goalkeeper score this year. But it wasn't to be. It is ours. We've won the Europa Conference League. The rebuild is complete. European competition, league win. And yeah, just crazy stuff. These animations do not play well. But there you go. There it is. Confirmation. We've won the Conference League. A Turkish Super. All we were missing was a Turkish Cup, and we'd have won it all. But what a result. What a result. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this rebuild. Let me know in the comments suggestions for the next rebuild. Do you want to see a different team? Do you want to see us do a part 2? Try and win the Turkish Cup? Maybe even try and win a Champions League? I mean, that would probably take too many seasons, so that's maybe not the idea. But let me know suggestions for rebuilds in the comments. Someone else who hasn't won a league title in a while, maybe a relegated team, we need to get them back up to the league. Maybe a team that's been relegated a few times, we need to get them back up to where they belong, that kind of thing. But let me know your suggestions for rebuilds in the comments, and maybe I might do one. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the Jose Mourinho Fenerbahce rebuild, and I'll see you all for more Football Manager videos very soon.